Have you ever stopped to think about the world from the perspective of your own toes? It sounds kind of funny, right? But today we're going to step into a modern Guatemalan folktale that does exactly that. And believe me, it finds some pretty profound wisdom in the most overlooked places.
And boom, it all kicks off with this line. It's from Tico, the smallest toe on a little boy's foot. This one sentence just perfectly captures the whole story's tension. This huge clash between wanting individual freedom and suddenly being stuck inside these tight new constraints.
So, to really get this conflict, we're going to start by shrinking down and entering the incredible world of San Pisito. We're going to meet the tiny, hidden community right at the heart of this whole thing. Okay, so the setup is pretty simple. Imagine this. There's a young boy named Mateo, and he lives in a village where, well, pretty much everyone is barefoot. And then one day, he gets his very first pair of shoes. For him, it's this amazing moment, but for his toes, it's the beginning of a totally new and really, really cramped world. And this is where we meet the whole crew. You've got Paco, the big toe, who's kind of the self-appointed captain and wants everything in order. Then there's Tico, our little rebel who's just dreaming of freedom. And caught in the middle, you have Nando, the thinker, Kuka, the dreamer, and Luna, the quiet peacemaker. These 5 very different personalities are what really drive this whole story forward. So, as you can probably guess, this clash of personalities, it doesn't stay quiet for long. It escalates pretty quickly from just little arguments into some real, actual pain for everybody involved. So here's how it all goes down. It starts with just some bickering, over who gets what space. From there, Tico the rebel decides he's had enough and tries to push his way out. But his one act of rebellion doesn't bring freedom. Instead, it causes this awful, painful blister that makes the entire foot suffer. The real turning point only comes when Luna, the shy one, sings a calming song that inspires a vision of a much better way forward. And this is where we get some incredible wisdom from Mateo's grandmother, Abuela Doña Caña. She says this, and it just hits you. The blister isn't just a blister. It's a signal of a much deeper problem. It's about these unique spirits being stuck, being cramped for way too long. Okay, with that in mind, let's pull back the curtain a little bit. Let's really decode the symbolism in this parable and look at what these simple things, the shoes, the foot, the toes, are actually all about. The shoes, they're the most obvious symbol, right? They represent all those external pressures we all face. The rules of society, those rigid expectations, really any kind of structure that tries to box us in and force us to fit. Now, the foot, that's something different. The foot is the community. It's your family, your neighborhood, maybe even all of humanity. And the story makes one thing crystal clear. When one part of that community is hurting, the entire group stumbles. We're all connected. And finally, the toes. Well, the toes are us. They're all the unique individuals inside that community. Every single one has a different personality, a different dream, a different role to play. The leader, the rebel, the dreamer. And every single one is absolutely essential for the whole thing to move forward. And here it is. This is the big aha moment of the whole story, whispered to Tico in that vision. Freedom isn't just about breaking away and doing your own thing. No, real freedom, true freedom, is what you find when you learn how to move together, respecting each other's unique rhythm to find a shared harmony. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit, because this simple, beautiful fable about a boy's foot, it's really designed to be a mirror, reflecting much bigger conflicts happening all over our world. The story does this brilliant thing where it makes the parallel totally explicit. The arguments happening inside the shoe, Paco wanting order versus Tico demanding freedom, they are a perfect mirror of the arguments happening between the elders out in the village square. The tiny world of the foot reflects the big world of the community. You can also look at this story through a post-colonial lens. So what does that mean? Well, think of it this way. The tight shoes represent these inflexible systems, social, economic, that were imposed by outside forces. And the toes struggle? That becomes a powerful metaphor for any community trying to hold on to its own cultural identity while being forced into a foreign, one-size-fits-all system. It's about finding a way to coexist without either totally assimilating or being completely isolated. And this all ties back to the story's cultural roots. The whole parable is really an expression of this powerful Guatemalan idea, todos juntos pero distintos. It's this beautiful vision of a community that is all together, but where every single member gets to remain wonderfully and uniquely distinct.
So, where does this all leave us? What's the ultimate vision that this story is trying to share with us? What is its message for the future?
Well, in the books that follow, this lesson grows into this amazing concept called the autonomous foot. It's this vision for a global community where every unique culture is like a toe. It's distinct, it's autonomous, but it's still contributing to the world's balanced forward step, all without ever losing its own identity. And that brings us back to one last piece of wisdom from Abuela Doña Caña. It's just a beautiful summary of the whole thing. We all share one path, but no two steps are ever the same. It means we're all bound together on this journey, but the contribution we each make to that journey has to be our own.
And so, I'll leave you with this question to think about. In your own world, your community, your family, or even just inside yourself, you have these same characters, don't you? There's a part that wants order, a part that craves freedom, and a part that seeks peace. So the question is, how do you find the rhythm that allows all of them to walk freely together?